Hey guys, how you going? It's Alex from Shuffle Up here, and today I have another deck list and video tutorial on how to play what I think is the best deck in the meta, and that's Red-Green Law from OP04. This is a strong deck, very dominant in the meta right now. Between this and Whitebeard, we don't see much room for wiggle. Katakuri does do okay in the matchup against Law, but it's very even. Yeah, I can't say anything more about how powerful Law is in this meta, and you probably experienced it already at your locals. I've topped 2 locals this week with this deck. I promised myself when I first started playing One Piece I wouldn't play Law unless I needed to, because the amount of brain power it requires is huge. But after piloting it 12 times maybe now, it's actually become a muscle memory. So for those of you on the fence about trying out Law, because it might be a lot of sequencing, a lot of brain power, a lot of thinking, eventually it becomes second nature and you start playing your games on autopilot. So it's worth trying if you do want to experience the power of being able to shambles your opponent, which is so good. So well, let's get into the deck tech and talk about what makes Law such a threat in this format. So let's begin with the 1-drops. Of course, you want so many 1-drops. We keep it low to the ground here in the Law deck, because at the end of the day, Law is all about amassing a huge amount of armies so that way your ability is live. You want to have, by turn 3, you want to be able to spend 2 mana and use its effect. Shambles is basically on any point in your main phase, once per turn. If you have 5 characters on your field, you can return 1 character to your hand and then play a character of cost 5 or less from your hand of a different color between red and green. So most of the time you can pop back your Otama and play a 5-drop Luffy with Rush, or a 5-drop Trafalgar Law that also will shambles another card onto the field. So you get so much mana value early on as long as you can amass that board. That makes this such a huge threat in this current format, because most of the decks in this format play slow. You have an easy run into Nami most of the time. They do get close to winning most games, but you're just that one turn quicker at getting game. You don't have to play 4 times. Some people only play 2, but I feel like this allows you to start clearing your opponent's board and is super good into the mirror, allowing you to neg their blocker laws or neg their Zoros and put the pressure on to removing their Zoros while you play yours. So if you're going into the mirror, I do recommend going second and being able to play around their board, not them, and then having them hopefully not pull enough gas to beat you in the face. Next up is our 1-drop Nummies. The Searcher Nummy is amazing. Half your deck is Straw Hats, so this becomes one of your best searchers. You usually play on turn 1 and you get an extra card in hand. It generates card advantage. It's great. We love playing Nami on curve, which is turn 1. There's only one searcher that's better than Nami in this deck, because there's some cards that share traits with Straw Hat and Supernova, and that's Jury Bonnie. Jury Bonnie is a awesome card. Its only issue is it's not an ETB trigger. You have to play it on the board. So most of the time you don't want to use its ability early in the game. If you tap it down, it becomes a target and people can remove it, thus slowing your curve into the Shambles ability. So what happens here is that you end up playing it and not using his ability till later on, when you can safely use his ability, use the Shambles ability to return it to the hand, and then play out a different color card. Or if you have the Law in hand, you take a 1-drop red, return it to the hand, play the Trafalgar Law, bounce the ready used Bonnie to your hand, and play something else, like for example a Supernova's / Straw Hat Zoro that can swing in for 5. So that's pretty much why Joy Bonnie is not effective in the beginning of the game, but once it gets into that later part of the game, she's the best searcher. She gets you both the Trafalgar Laws you're looking for, the Shambles Laws, and the Restand Laws, as well as the Zoro and the Monkey D. Luffy, who also share a Supernova trait. Such a great card. So the best searcher in the whole deck, but do not use it early. That's my main advice to anyone just picking up Law for the first time. Oh, ho ho ho! It's Tony Hopper. your best blocker. One drop, chump blocker, he's the best. You can search him off Nami because he's a straw hat, and just ends up being a great body on the board. And you end up using his blocks a lot. He's a chump blocker and can help you take control of the game when they're trying to get rid of your Zoros and Laws off the board. One Makino, a lot of people don't like having Saki one-ofs in their decks, but I'm very much different when it comes to that. Because I believe that sometimes you don't need too many Makinos, but when you do see the one when you need it at the end of the game, just to swing over for lethal with your one drop, Nami or Chopper or anything, just to give it that extra 3,000, it's great. It's a 2k counter, which is also great. So having it as a Saki one-off is actually not too bad, and I found that playing it at 1 is the right number. I see it just enough when I need it the most. The one thing I dropped for the Makino was the 4th Capone Gang Badge. I haven't felt any problems having one less blocker, so it's okay. A lot of people would actually rather have more blockers, so if you want to play it with 4 badge, play it with 4 badge and no Makinos. But this is just how I feel like Law plays really well. So only 3 of these, and it does the same exact thing Chopper does. He's a 1-drop Saki blocker that you can search with Jury Bonnie. Our next spicy 1-drop is the Nami Don mover. She basically once per turn during your main can move any rested Don onto a hero. This you need to play right now because Whitebeard is a deck. So most of the time you are able to put that rested Don on your leader or a 5k beat stick to hit for 6k, because you need to hit for 6k minimum against Whitebeard. So definitely a must play right now while Whitebeard is still somehow surviving in this meta, because no matter how many times the ban list hits it, it seems to never want to die. And we play the Sanji 2-drop. This is killer card against the Namis. They don't want to hit your life and you need your life. Funnily enough, a lot of Law players, and this is an interesting little tidbit for you all, Law players that play too cautious and don't take life early end up losing in the end of the game, because most of the good Law players see their life as a resource that they can tap into. You don't want to go too low, but you do want to be 2 or less life, but not too low where you're just 1 hit away from losing. So 1 life or 2 life is where you want to be at safely, but you definitely want to take the 2 top life off early on to get that extra resource in hand. And this card allows you to do that against Nami. By using its ability, you get a card into your hand from the top of your life, giving you an extra resource. And then it gets to put 2 rested Don under it, and it also gets plus 2k. So you swing for 7 with it on the turn you use that ability. So it's really good. And on the games that you don't need to take your own life, it's a 2k blocker. It's one of the best 2k blockers in the game. 2k counters. Let's go. Sanji, OP. Another great 2k counter that has an awesome ETB effect. Brook. At worst, when you play it, it's for free because you put your 2 rested Don under something to pump it up and then, you know, attack for a huge amount of damage. And at usual times it is a 2k counter and allows you to 2k counter out of most attacks against your Zoro, Laws, anything really. So some of the best 2k counters in the game are in this deck, and that's the problem with red and green. They have some of the best cards right now. And talking about best cards right now, Curly Dadan searches any 1-drop. You just saw how many 1-drops we played. That was basically half our deck filled with 1-drops. So this is always hitting. Sometimes it doesn't, but usually always hitting. And you're getting an extra card out of this card always. You play this if you're going second, usually first, because it gets you another 1-drop so you can fill your board up next turn. And if you're going second and you didn't do so well in the draw of your hand or the mulligan, you can use that to fix your hand with a 1-drop so you can amass your 1-drop army faster. The best 3k beat stick in all the game. They had no right making this a free cost 5,000 attack beat stick with rush. There was no reason for them to do that. It could have been just for free 5 and it would have been still OP, but they made it a free 5 with rush. This card will always be a staple and I love it. That's why I will never ever get rid of my Zoros, because they are the best card in the format, in any format that plays red. So probably the last format will be good in one purple and yellow becomes strong in OP05, but still, I have so much respect for this card because it does everything you want it to do. It costs so little. It's at the right cost to be able to use the Trafalgar Law blocker to Shambles out another card and play this, as that ability only allows you to play free cost. So it ends up being what you usually shamble into when you're using Law's ability. We pay 1 Nico Robin just being really good at removing cards in the opponent's zone and field when they are playing cheap cost. So this is good against the Zoro matchup. It can be good against the Katakuri, but it's usually best in the mirror. And you want to play this early in the mirror so you can put the pressure on your opponent. Start clearing their board because they have no choice. We are removing their 1-drops every time we attack with Nika Robin. You want to see this in the mirror. And if you think you're going to have a lot of mirrors in your locals or at a tournament, maybe up that Nika Robin to 2. Monkey D. Luffy, the best. The best ever 5-drop that you can shambles into when you need to finish the game. Because you just shambles into him for 2 and put all your Don on him. He's unblockable. Swing in for game. No marker's going to stop this. Take that, white bid. Yeah, such a great card. From the structure decks as well, so it's easy to get as long as you can find the structure deck. Oh yes, talking about Trafalgar Law, you can't have a Trafalgar Law deck without the Shambles. The Shambles is so strong. You usually want to use this if you're lucky enough to have this, and if you're lucky to have this in the Zoro in hand and any of your army set up on the field, you can Shambles. You can use Trafalgar Law's ability to Shambles this onto the field and shamble any of your 1-drops and then play a free drop, which is Zoro. And fun fact that most people don't know this first starting out, you can actually attack with Zoro, then shambles into this, bring back your Zoro to hand and replay it in non-rested position so it can attack again. And that's a good way of getting extra swings in. So honestly, this is the bread and butter of the deck. It's what you want, and usually seeing and being able to get enough draw power early on to get to this and Zoro can give you the control of the game that you need, and you end up having this impenetrable law. Also very important, do not swing with these that often. Use them sparingly. As soon as you swing with these down, you've opened up your life to being one shot. So only use these sparingly when you know you have game. Otherwise, keep them up during your opponent's turn so you can start playing around their plays. Kidoki. Basil Hawkins, one of. Saki, one of again, but it is a strong Saki, one of. It does things. It swings with 1 Dawn under it. If it's swinging to a character, it will restand straight away, even before the battle damage is completed. It restands when you attack into any character, allowing you to basically usually clear a character off the board and clear another character, or attack live and putting pressure on your opponent. So good, but you don't want to see it too early, so 1 of is fine. Seeing multiple would hurt too. Trafalgar Law, this can end up being really good for setting up the finale and swinging for game. You can shamble this out onto the field and restand any of your 5 or less supernovas, I believe. Yeah, so that counts as this. You can restand this. You can restand your Basil Hawkins again, so swing for a 3rd time with Basil Hawkins. You can even restand your Zoro and swing again as well. So very good game finisher, being able to bring out this, shambles him out. So you swing with everything on your board, shambles him out, restand something massive, and then swing again. Even if if you don something up, make sure you do the one that's donned up and restand him, and then swing again. So good way to get in that game at the end. And finally, last character we play, the 3/5 Zoro. This one, it doesn't have Rush, but what it does have is with a Don under it, it gets an extra 1,000. So it's very Don efficient, ends up being a 7k for only 1 Don. And with coupled with the Nami that gives the rest of Don to a character, this can end up being pretty consistent and powerful threat to your opponent's life every turn. For the 2 events that we play, 1 Guard Point and 1 Saki Radical Beam. They're both Straw Hat Crew, so you can search them with Nami at the beginning of the game. I do usually tend to pick up at least the Radical Beam if I see it. Even only time I wouldn't pick up the Radical Beam is if I see the Zoro instead, but it's very good to be able to whiff and not see your Zoro, but see the Radical Beam or the Guard Point, and just have an extra count in hand so you can give yourself some time to search for the key cards in the future. So yeah, that's the deck list for you guys. I'm going to go into some gameplay footage and show you a little bit about how Law plays, and especially with my build, and then discuss how I would sequence my turns to get an efficient win in most matchups. Alright, let's begin the game. We have a Rebecca matchup. This is one of our harder matchups, and we do kind of struggle a little bit into going Rebecca because Rebecca has a lot of ways of dealing with our board, and if we can't get a full board, we can't shambles. This is actually a really excellent hand though, so I'm going to keep, and you got your 1-drops, your searches. Yeah, we drew into another 1-drop, which is great. So going second, I was able to drop 2 1-drops and pass on turn over to our Rebecca. They are probably going to use the ability to draw and keep their hand full. we go into our turn 2, drawing the Nami off the top. I was wondering what was happening here. The Kyros didn't work. He must have misclicked, so that's unlucky. It's going to set him back a bit. It takes away a turn where he could have been without a Shambles, but having the Nami and being able to search out Nika Robin is pretty good. Our hand is now still full, which is amazing. We've also got Searcher Bonnie, which can help us a lot. So we are going to play out the Bonnie. Then we're going to deploy the 2-drop Brooks to attach a Don, and then we're going to attach another Don using the Nami 1-drop that allows you to attach a rest of Don to leader. And we'll pass it over to Rebecca, who is going to play the Colosseum, and then use the Rebecca to draw 1, look at 3, and then take 1, trash 2. He'll try and hit our active leader using the Guts to have the effect where one person can attack active. We'll use the blocker to take away that hit. We need Bunny. They'll then use the 1-drop little card to remove the Bonnie, which is a big hit for us. So we're going to play out the Gang Bedge and then hard play a Zoro just to clear out his Kyros, which is going to be really hard to clear out. But since he's used the ability to destroy our Bonnie, his leader's already tapped. So I think this turn we may be able to get away with removing the Kyros. So he'll tap the Colosseum now, and then we'll be able to Shambles. And this is a great combo. We're going to Shambles out our weak Nami here and be able to play it later to get the on ETB trigger. And we'll Shambles out our Zoro just to play back the Zoro. And that will allow us to do that another hit to just get rid of the Kyros, because he's not going to waste the counter to save that when he needs it to save his life. So looking pretty good right now in terms of our distribution. We've got our full table. He just 3,000 worlds, my law. Is pretty strong indeed, actually. So and then he's just going to don up the Rebecca just to hit the Zoro. This is actually a good thinking on his part. So we're just going to 1k counter out of it, keep our blocker up, because we need to keep our board as full as possible to be able to Shambles next turn, and I need the Searcher as well. So we got into the 3-drop Zoro, but this is a really good off the top Monkey D. Luffy. I'm going to have to take it, even though having another blocker would be cool. In this matchup, we probably don't need another blocker. And this is another Bonnie going to the bottom now, so that means we have to wait for the final Bonnie, because we've seen all for free Bonnie so far. So let's hope that we don't not get another Bonnie in the future. So we'll just put 2 Don in our Brooks to swing it leader for 5. We'll use the ability to add Rested Don to our Gang Bedge just to clear out the Rebecca, just making sure we have control of his board. Are we a Rebecca player now? I don't know. We'll then Shambles out to bring out the 5-drop Monkey D. Luffy, which is unblockable when you put 2 Don on him. And we'll add the rest. We already done the rest of Don ability. So we'll add the 2 Don to Zoro to attack for 7. Very hard to counter out of. And we'll add 1 Don to our leader. He had a good trigger there. So we'll just 5k then instead with our leader, just to see if we can get a count out of his hand, and then we'll 6k. And we'll play back the Bedge this turn, since we have the extra slot available now. Okay, and we'll just pass turn over. The opponent is now sitting on that beautiful 8 Don, I believe, or 9 Don. So they've got so many options now, and their hand is basically as full as when they started. And we've got 1 card in our hand, so this is really, really hard to actually, I guess, get our head around, because we are running out of gas. He's got all the gas he needs. He'll Don up and swing into our Brooks. We're going to have to let that go. We have no counter power, and we don't want to waste a blocker on something so weak. We hit the Monkey D. Luffy. He's going to be able to restand this easily. So we do a chump block on that one just to make sure. Now he can restand it and then attack again with it, but then he can't restand it next turn. So we'll see what he decides to do. A lot of people have favoring keeping it upright so they can attack again next turn. Oh, no, he goes in. And yeah, okay, so we are very sparse on the board, but we got a Searcher off the top, which is great. Then down into Nami, into Shanks or Brooks. Let's take the Brooks. Brook is going to come down as well and put 2 Don on something if we want. We'll keep it up as a 2k counter and add all the Don to our unblockable Luffy and try and remove his Luffy out of the game. I think that's the way to go.
And 10,000 to 7,000. He needs to use a lot of counter power to get out of this. Let's see if he has it. 6 cards in his hand. He's got to have at least 2 or 3 counters. So if they're all 1k counters, that's pretty bad. Yep, okay. So we did enough to get rid of the Monkey Luffy. So we're just going to try and trade this out off to see if he has the will to keep that 1-drop alive, but he did not. And we'll try and do a 5k onto his life and see if we can just ping him for 1 of his lives. Or if he'll just, yeah, he'll just counter out with a 1k counter. He's not, I don't think he has any 2ks in hand. He's probably got a bunch of 1ks, which is going to be a lot easier to get over. He'll have to start playing blockers now if he wants to slow down the game enough. Let's see. He puts the guts. Yeah, okay. So he gets rid of one of our Namis. We do have the broken hand, so if we draw in anything that can shambles will be good. 7,000 to 5,000. We have nothing to be able to stop that, so we'll just take it. And he does get rid of another one of our 1-drops using the Leo. It's pretty painful. We don't have a chance of building a board again, but we do have pretty strong characters on our board at the moment. We can try to push harder. He's restood his, and then this is our chances what we were holding the Brooks for. 2k count out of that, and we draw into Zoro, which is the best thing possible to draw into. And we just don up, attack, see if we can get some cards out of his hands or do some near lethal damage. We'll attack with our Dan, adding 2 to make it 5k. We'll add, I think we'll try and add a 2 Don to make it a 7, or maybe just 1, make it a 6k drop, and then if we can get that through, then we can definitely get the, okay, no, we can't. We'll just clear his board. We'll see if we can clear his board, since he's, yes, counterless. Okay, we got that Luffy off the board, which is very, very good. Let's see what he does now. Clears our Dadan. We still have 2 big units. He can get rid of these. We have nothing in our hand. We really need to get lucky right now and draw something. Oh, he did good. He got the Kyros off the top. I was able to attack straight away, and we can see now that he is considering. Oh, I thought he had a Luffy in hand. He's just dumped it all on the guts and just swung to get rid of Luffy. Amazing. So, oh, Nami off the top. Though we didn't get anything really good. We can probably try and use Sanji to take our life, since our opponent isn't really engaging with our life. So I'll deploy it. I'll put all the Don on leader to swing at life. Yep, that worked. And now we put him at 0 life, which is scary for him. But if he doesn't have any blockers and he doesn't block up very soon, then he might end up losing. Being on 0 life is scary for a Rebecca player. And I'm noticing that, yeah, there's not enough blocking power on his board. He's guts again. He's going to get rid of whatever we have. He's playing a basic strategy that's good against Law, which is clearing Law's board, stopping them from being able to do shambles. But I've changed my strategy up to just not worry too much. Oh, there we go. There's the blockers. Sabo is pretty good. Yeah, we just need something to get through his blockers, and we can have a chance of winning. Let's see how it goes here. But this is very, very hard. We'll take it. We need something good off the top. Dadan and Zoro. That is very, very good top deck. I'm top decking like a champion at the moment. So we'll just swing in and see if he sacrifices the Sabo. If he does, then I believe he doesn't have enough counter power to block a lethal from my Zoro. Kind of ask for a rematch, but he's okay. He's blocked it. We'll try and swing for 5 with the Nami. Put some more pressure. He's blocked off the Alumbers, so he had the block of power. We didn't have game there, so we just probably have to clear. Yeah, there we go. His hand's at 4. He can probably keep pumping up his hand though. This is still not looking like a win. Rebecca's so hard to play into. He gets to clear the board every turn. And we have nothing now. We have 1 card in hand and Dadan. Like, we're just lucky that he hasn't drawn into anything like insane yet. He's played another Sabo, drew 2, trash 2, and yeah, he plays another blocker as well, trashing the Rebecca for that. Oh, that's actually not too bad. They're done. Oh, we got the unblockable Luffy off the top. That's why. Oh yeah, the done only gets 1 drops. Oh, that's so sad. Anyway, let's continue. Zoro's good. We'll play Zoro. I think here we just put all the Don on Zoro and hope for the best. We'll put 2 on our leader actually and swing in for 7, and then we'll put 2 on our Zoro and swing in for 7. Let's see if they have the counter power. Nope, he's using his blocker. That's his. He's gone through a lot of Sabos this game. I think that's his first Sabo, so we'll see how many more blockers he could possibly have in his hand. If not, we can just swing with Zoro next turn. If he doesn't get rid of the Zoro, that is. I think he's going to get rid of the Zoro, so we can't swing twice with Zoro, which is sad. Okay. He's chosen to draw Gats. And then trash the Olympus. He's played the Sabo. That's his last Sabo. He's got no more after this. He's 3,000 worlds. That's sad. Okay, so this would be great if we had a Supernova on the field, but we don't. So we might just have to play our Shambles and then use it to... we'll just swing first with Nami. And then we'll just go... If he blocks this, then we'll go all out on our leader and just swing, I guess. He's only got 3 cards in hand. He did actually have the counter power for that. That's unlucky. And I'll just go and deploy that. Use it to bring it back to the field so we can search something at the top. Chopper's not bad. That gives us a bit of protection. But Bonnie gives us some search power, and we do have 2 Don up. I might go with the protection though, just to make sure that we don't die. Swinging for 6. He either sacrifices the Sabo or takes it. He can't take it. There's no way he has counter power. Oh, he does. He has 2k counter in his hand. Oh my god. This is a hard matchup, guys. So if you're a Law player, don't think that you're going to get... don't think you're going to get an easy win against Rebecca, because it is a very hard deck against the Law. They have all the answers for our 1-drops, for our Shambles requirements. And I think at this point the opponent has mentally resigned. So they've decided to just play it out, get the Adio. Adio is really good, so they get the nice, like, you're always hitting with Rebecca's ability and you just never lose. So that's a blocker off the top that you can use to stall out the game longer. The good news is we do have the Trafalgar Law restand in our hands, which allows us to don up our Supernova's Law next turn and swing twice with it. That could be useful. Finally got some life. Hitting our life for 7k. We get a Makino off the top, which is really good as well. Can give us plus 3,000 power to one of our 1-drops. He's pumping up his guts now. We'll block it with the chopper. And is he going to don up anything else, or is he going to play something? Does have 5 don left. And he does play an Adio blocker and a Bartolome block. Oh my god, he has so much blocking power. We'll play the Makino, use it to give the plus 3,000, plus 2, so singing for 7. He has to remove the trump blocker, he has no counters at the moment. We'll put 2 on our Law, keeping 5 up for our restand Mafia Boy. Restand with him, attack again, last blocker gone, and final swing for 5,000, no counters in hand. We have it. There you go, first match, 2 Law. That was a doozy. Let's go on to our next match. Okay, so we're now going first against an ace player. We are going to mulligan that hand into a much more better hand, I think. This one has 2 searches and the Law ready in hand, so we're really looking for the 1-drops that we can get through Dadan, and then just hopefully play it out long enough to get the Joy Bonnies to find us some Zoros, so where you can shambles into them. This is really good setup, but we can't not take Ace seriously. Ace can sometimes just swing for double attacks randomly and ruin your day. So we're gonna do the done play here. I wish we could pick green, that would be great. The bed would have been better than Otama, but we'll take the Otama anyway, and just play out the Nami that can attach a Don, so we can swing for 6, applying some decent pressure, either getting a counter from the hand or they have to take the life. I think Ace players really like taking life though, because like they need as many events in hand as possible. Let's see what he does. 5 life. Does he do it? Counter step. He has counted out of it. Interesting choice. We'll pass the turn back over to the Ace player, and he'll go ahead and begin his turn by, I think, well, he does have the Makino up, so he can probably Makino up his Izzo and swing in for 5, and then also swing in for 5 from leader. He can do some pretty good pressure in turn 2. Yeah, he's doing it. Yeah, so he swings for 5. We'll take it. We knew we were going to take it. He'll Makino and then swing for 5 again, and we'll have to take that too. It's pretty bad, but Radical being off the top is not too bad. We cancelled the trigger on that because that is so much better being played from a hand later in the game when your opponent thinks they're swinging for game, than to be played off as the trigger on his final attack. So, ooh, he had the Sequake, so he dropped one more of our characters from the board. Makes it harder for us to build our board up, but luckily we have a lot of 1-drops in hand, including the Atama that we pulled from the Dandan Church, and we'll just -2 his Izzo. And now comes, with the very good mana efficient 2 Don left, like the pros that we are. You know, this is how a professional Law player would play. They would ensure that they play it out so they have exactly 2 Don ready to shambles. So we'll just attack into the Makino with the 1k, see if he's willing to sacrifice a counter for a Makino. Most people don't. I have never seen anyone try and counter out of a Makino hit, because like it's just not worth it. Yeah, there we go. And I think we'll just use the Jury Bonnie, because we know we're going to shambles anyway, so let's shambles it out to bring in the one and only Law, and we use him to bring out our Tama to put in the Robin, so that way we can start clearing his board. If we had a Zoro in hand, we would have definitely gone to Zoro. So we'll just use Bonnie now, which is hilarious, to attack into his 0-cost Izzo. This does actually hurt because Ace doesn't play too many characters. So getting rid of the characters while like they're on the field makes it much harder for Ace to close out games. But it does mean that we probably lose a Bonnie, but we do have another Bonnie in the field, so it doesn't matter. We'll swing for 5, see if we can get another counter or have them take a life. At this point, he actually counters out. He's got so much advantage in life. I don't know why he doesn't want to see the resources. But we'll just let the Ace play it out as he believes is correct. He has 6 Don now, so probably play a Marco and ditch one of our 1-drops, and then yeah, there we go. Marco comes down. What 1-drop will he destroy? Or yep. Oh, Nami. Interesting choice. I would have gone straight for the Bonnie. That is very interesting. Maybe he doesn't want us to shambles into green again. I don't know. Anyway, we'll take the attack. Counter out of it. We're at 2 life. It's pretty cozy at the moment. On our 7 Don turn, we'll play the Nami that can give rest of Don. And we'll search for, off the top, a Supernova's Monkey D. Luffy. Very good. We have 2 game-ending cards in our hand now. So we'll also take a Zoro. What a hit. What a hit. So Zoro off the top is going to be magical in this situation. And I think at this point we will probably put some Don up on our Robin. No, I don't know actually. We'll attach the rest of Don to our leader. Make sure that he's at 6k. We'll deploy that, so that way it's -3k, and attack this. Oh, it's -2k. I made a blunder. Yes, okay. Atama's minus 2k. It's the other one, Gordon, that's minus 3k. I made a mistake. Anyway, that was a waste of good Nami. We'll continue to play this out though. 5k to the leader. He'll have to either can out or not. He's probably questioning why we have done nothing to his. Yeah, we'll Shambles now. Taking out that, putting in the unblockable issue. Attacking with that for 6. And I think we'll keep our blocker up at this point. This is... Ooh, Canada. He's got so much counterpower. 4 cards in his hand, 5 cards in ours. We still have card advantage at the moment. We got lucky with our searches. I think just in terms of resource management and power, we kind of have a good chance of winning this. Oh, never mind. Flame Emperor comes down. What a broken card. Actually insane. We'll have to take it. It's a double attack hit. We can't do anything about it. But we do have the counter power to get out of a hit with the Marco if he does decide. And then we have to figure out our way, how we're going to rebuild the board. Maybe if we're lucky, we can use the Drew Bonnie in our hand and the one on the field to maybe get some resources. Beige is really good. That's the blocker we needed. I'll play him right now. And then we'll just have to work out how we're getting rid of the Marco. It's going to be hard from here on out. We have to have a blocker at every turn. We got the Zora off the top from the first Bonnie, which is amazing. So we get to probably 6k into his Marco, destroying it. He potentially has a counter in hand, or maybe an event in hand that he can use to bring it back. So I have to try and keep my Don up here because he'll probably bring it back 1 or 2 times. See, it's his hands at 3. But we do get to be able to Shambles a Zora in, which does give us another swing, and leaves us with a blocker at the end of turn. That's so good. So we can probably put Don on our Nico Robin as well. Well, there we go. He's decided to take the hit, and let's see if he has the event in hand that he can sack to bring it back from the ashes. And he has indeed gotten rid of his Flame Emperor to get back the Marco, but it's hard when you do that because the Flame Emperor is your game finisher as well, so he's had to sacrifice his chance of closing the game out, but he knows it's going to be hard without 2 hits to win the next turn. I would have done the same, not gonna lie, but the ace player is now clutching at straws here, and we'll get to be able to Shambles now, and that will basically send back Altama to bring down the Blocker Law, and then we'll use that to send up the Bonnie to bring down the Zorro. And we'll just start attacking with Zorro. We need to start putting pressure. We need to get life down. You can't give him too much, but he needs to start taking some life as well because he needs the events. He needs the stuff that's in his life. But if we're smart about this, we don't give him too much life and he doesn't get too much draw power. I think we come out of this fine. So let's see if he comes out of this or if he takes it. He takes it. Yeah, that is correct. He should have been taking them a bit earlier. And I think the best next thing to do is maybe we'll probably have to don up Nico Robin and swing, but I think I might leave one open for the Radical Beam as well. So just go 3 on Robin. Yep, swinging for 7 with a Robin Swan, Mummy Swan, Ruby Chan. Let's go. Take it. Take it. Our opponent is still thinking, and he's taken it, which is the right thing for him to do. He needs as much resources in his hand as possible now because we do have the 2 blockers and I think over 5k counter in our hand, which is great, plus the 1 4k counter in the form of a Radical Beam, which is alive at the moment because we have 0 life. And it's just funny how easy it is to just casually play a game as a Zora player with 0 life and still feel completely fine. Not a lot of decks can't do that. Like, a lot of decks don't want to be at 0 life, but Law just plays comfortably at 0 life. It's like our bread and butter. It's where we kind of dabble in, dip our toes in that fine, shallow water of being low life, close to dying, but also being able to do so much to survive. Does use the amazing Marco ability to remove one of our blockers, so we are 1 blocker down. That's kind of scary, but he does only have 1 attack, and I don't know if he has Rush's ace in hand. It doesn't look like he has Rush ace, so he puts down a blocker to protect his life for the next turn. Not sure if that was a good idea on his part, but if he doesn't have any other options and no Rush in hand, then there's nothing else he can really do. So let's see if he dons up his ace and swings with it. That's probably what I would do. Yep, there you go. 2 don on ace, swings. There's even 1 don up, so he must have a counter in hand. Okay, we took 7k to 5. We're gonna just, I think we use our Radical Beam for this because it's a value. Actually no, we'll block with Trafalgar Law and our 2k counter, a timer, and that will be a better way of blocking in case he does have a follow-up with the 1 don. He does not have a follow-up on the 1, and maybe have another counter card in hand, which is really good. So we'll just start off with attacking and destroying the chump blocker using Robin's ability. He must have not realized that Robin was there. Robin is still a card, even though not many people have been playing it since OP04. It still is such a great card. I only play it 1 in my current build, but I do believe that Robin has some value, especially in the mirror. Yeah, he has counted out of that, so we potentially do have enough. We have restand law as well, so we can swing in with this Luffy. We can swing in with everything and see if he can counter out of it, and if he does counter out of everything, we can still just hard play restand Trafalgar Law and then swing with anything else. In fact, a better way to play this, if you guys are smarter than me, is to don up your unblockable Luffy and then swing twice with it. That's guaranteed 2 hits, and then you can like do some chump hits. Okay, so he's taking the 1 life. He's got 1 life left. We know that it could be a 1k or 2k counter, so 3 don would make it so that way we can definitely hit. So 2 don is safe, but 3 don is even safer. We'll just swing with the 2 don. If he has a 2k counter, he can't block it either. And then if he gets the next, he'll have to take the hit. There's nothing that can counter out of that except a counter, like an action card. Oh, what? Oh, I think he accidentally countered. That's sad. Oh, we just don up everything. Swing now.
Alright guys, thank you for watching. This has been Alex from Shuffle Up. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Only 5% of our viewers are subscribed, so bring up those numbers. Subscribe to the channel now. Comment down below what you guys think of the Trafalgar Law deck. Do you think it needs to get nerfed? Do you think that all OP01 should just be banned because it was too OP? Nah, I don't think so. I think it's fine. But you guys comment down below what you think and let me know if I'm wrong about that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. I'm trying my best to bring out videos whenever I can. I ran out of deck lists for this format because there wasn't really too many decks running around at the moment, but I bit the bullet and played the 1 character I said I was never going to play, which is the Trafalgar Law leader. And hopefully you guys enjoy it. I will probably pilot this deck during the online Treasure Cup coming up. I will be prepared for a lot of mirror matches. And it'll be the last time I get to play red and green before the great purple and yellow format of the OP05 comes down upon us. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Alex from Shuffle Up. See you guys in my next video.